Hello and welcome to the Dash podcast, episode 104. I'm Mark Mason and I'm joined by my fellow host, Joel Valenzuela. How's it going?
Much better now. Technology is working. Everything sucked and I hated it. And so I restarted everything and now I'm here. Mexican time as usual.
Right. But not Dash technology, just the...
No, Dash works great. It's just that all the stuff that I don't know, all the things I'm using. I'm trying so hard to stay dashy, but there's no cooperation from the microphone, from the internet, from everything.
But we're good now. You sound good. The video feed is good. It's perfect.
Please let me know as soon as I start sounding toilet, because if I do, I would hate to do another this isn't that podcast where they used to do it in the bathroom stall. Like we're trying to be professionals here.
Right, and this week we have a very special guest. We're welcoming back Jacob Ballou to the podcast. How's it going?
Hey guys, what's up? Nice to be back. Nice to get to talk to you guys again.
Yeah, thank you for coming on short notice. So Jacob was actually on the podcast episode 98, I believe. So for those that it's the first time you're seeing or hearing from Jacob, he is the co-founder and creative officer of VegaWallet, correct?
Yes, correct.
Woohoo! Right, awesome. Got that okay. And Jacob's agreed to come on fairly last minute to discuss a few things because this week was pretty major in terms of news, price, and obviously consensus was the elephant in the room for everyone. So I just want to talk about a few things first because we've got so much to talk about, but I think we really need to talk about the price first because we saw this huge rally this week. I think BTC Bitcoin rallied to about $8,200, and right now we're having a correction pullback. I think it's around like 7K. Dash started at about $120, peaked at about $158, and now we're back at $130. So Jacob, why is the price going down now? What did you do?
I mean, you're looking at basically a market pullback, honestly. You're looking at exchanges. And I mean, one of the things I was talking to somebody about the other day is people have waited so long for price action and price increase that some of these people that don't necessarily understand the future of this tech and the future of what's going on are honestly just looking to break even possibly.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And so Jacob was obviously at Consensus this week, Blockchain Week in New York. He only got back late last night, and he was in New York on Sunday when the event started. So he's got the inside track, all the inside gossip and knowledge, and most of the general crypto news this week was surrounding Consensus, which probably contributed a lot to the price pump going up. And we're seeing the aftermath of that now. Whether it's just a short correction or whatnot is yet to be seen. But yeah, let's talk about some of the news that happened this week. So let's start with Jacob, as you're our guest. So as you were there at the event, on the very first day, there was photos being leaked of adverts of eBay, and it caused quite a stir.
Yeah.
Did you see them?
Yeah, right as you walked up the steps, it was one of the first things you saw all over the steps, eBay and their virtual currency. And everybody was speculating that they were going to make an official announcement about accepting crypto or offering services related to blockchain and crypto. And then I think they came out like a day or two later. And at least I saw that they're like, oh no, we have no plans yet. So no one knows what's really going on there. But I mean, you don't buy adverts at Consensus, which aren't cheap, to kind of lead people the wrong way. I mean, everybody knows it's New York Blockchain Week. You put up a booth or you advertise there for a reason. So I guess we'll see in a little bit what they actually meant by that.
Yeah, well, Joel did a bit of investigative reporting on that because obviously we saw the news and we saw the tweets going out and we're like, well, should we report on this? What's going on here? And like we found out what was going on because they made an announcement on their website, which I'll let Joel explain in a second. But we were talking to each other like, are they trying to troll? Because it can't be cheap paying for advertising. So Joel, like you checked out the eBay website and they made some form of announcement, correct?
Yeah, they just said we're not doing it.
just flat out.
Yeah, no, we're not doing it. Well, I don't know what they were trying to do because they're advertising and just say, oh, you crypto people, you can trade a bunch of stuff. And I think that they're trying to get people to trade crypto collectibles or something. I mean, that seems to be the short term. There could be an ulterior motive, something else they're launching, but it just seemed like people they were advertising at consensus. They could have just been advertising at consensus and just being like, hey, we exist. And then people were just like, oh my gosh, they're taking crypto.
But it would have been huge though. They got the perfect setup because
Yeah,
often than not, all of us always talk about merchant adoption and getting mainstream adoption as well for not just helping businesses but the end users as well and education side. But one of the things that's often overlooked is it's not just buying crypto, it's about earning it. And I think eBay have such an amazing opportunity. If you could sell things for crypto, that would be like game changing, and that would be really helpful to a lot of people. Anyway, I don't want to mislead people because that isn't the case, but there is a huge opportunity there, and I think people being able to earn crypto is an avenue that needs a lot more exploration, and we need a lot more platforms and services. So if you are a developer out there or you've got some ideas, make it happen because we need those. Anyway,
probably their wording too before we move on, where they didn't say necessarily crypto, it was virtual currencies. So kind of save themselves there, I guess.
Yeah, I heard something. It was just like it was partly due to that they allow the selling of mining hardware on the platform or something like that. But I think back in the day you could buy people were selling cryptocurrencies on there, which is now as a complete no-go. But this was years ago. Right, Joel, this one's for you. Because you wrote an article on this, so you are the leading authority on this.
Are you sure it wasn't Justin?
I'm pretty sure it was you because I remember discussing it. So,
right. Well, I have many names and faces.
One of the biggest stories this week, I think every crypto publication covered this story. There was a announcement by the Winklevoss twins about Gemini and a Flexer partnership. And Joel,
you're talking about the Nothing Burger.
Well, was it though? Because everyone wrote an article about it. Can you tell us what was going on there? What is it? What is the partnership? And what's the breakdown?
And maybe Jacob knows a little bit more about this since he's more in the industry of these kinds of things. But the announcement was you can now pay with crypto and Bitcoin specifically at Whole Foods, at Starbucks, at a whole bunch of hundreds, if not thousands, of retailers around mostly the US. Wow. Amazing.
So
that sounds pretty good.
It's a bit overhyped.
Hold on. What's the catch, Joel?
Yeah.
Well, first off, do you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll let you explain the catch.
So the catch is, first off, well, no, none of these places are actually accepting crypto. You can't just grab your Koinomi wallet, grab your Bread wallet, if that's still a thing. I don't know. You can grab your whatever wallet you have, and then just go into a Starbucks, say, I want to pay with Bitcoin. And then they're like, oh, yeah. And they spin around the screen. You got a QR code, beep, and you pay. That does not work. You cannot do that. You can only pay through a special app called Flexa, which is a partnership with Gemini, the cryptocurrency exchange that the Winklevoss twins run. And it's a custodial service. So you have to deposit your crypto into the account, and then it will debit it from that account when you pay. Now, when you actually go to pay, you just say, hey, can I Flex or whatever? And they scan the QR code off your phone. So first off, it's like a custodial middleman type.
A QR barcode too. It's like a crypto address.
Yes, exactly. It's a little extra code. And first off, let me just point out that is like another article I wrote just today was about the spend card, the spend.com crypto debit card. When you swipe it or put the chip in or whatever and you pay, it's a Visa card. But when you pay, it debits from your crypto account that you have on the actual app. So it's essentially and right now they just announced this week that they are enabling Apple Pay as well. So whether you have the card or not, you can just do the NFC payment with Apple Pay and pay anywhere, and it debits straight from, say, your Dash balance. So you already have that like the Flexa thing does, is in a custodial AML KYC solution where you can just go beep and do a little workaround to pay for stuff. So it's not that huge of a thing. No one's getting that much attention over that. Now, when I saw, first off, as far as I know, because I haven't actually used it, I've seen some screenshots. But when you say you go to Starbucks and you go to pay, you don't just have your Flexa thing and then they scan a code. You have to select Starbucks on there, and then it picks up the thing. That reminds me a hell of a lot of another app called BitRefill, where you can go buy your, you can go, well, you're in line at Starbucks or whatever. You can buy your gift code for whatever amount, and then they go scan the barcode on your phone exactly the same. So I have a suspicion that Flexa runs credit or accounts or gift points, because that's the other thing. All these retailers seem very familiar in that there's a lot of crossover between like BitRefill and eGifter and a whole bunch of other services that sell gift codes for crypto. It's like the same one somehow.
At the end of the day, it's just them taking US dollars fiat instead of actual crypto. That's it.
Yes. So I think that they might pre-buy lines of like gift codes for these things, say like Starbucks gift credit, like they have a big pool of that. And then whatever it is, they put out the QR code, and whatever gets debited from that, then they debit from your crypto account to take care of that. So, and it is telling, because none of these retailers want to say that they have a partnership with, they either accept crypto or that they have a partnership with like Flexa to accept crypto. They're just like, no, I don't talk about that. Probably because they don't.
But we won't make the announcement.
Yeah, they don't want to be like, yeah, well, this is how people can pay with crypto at our places, you know, through this special partnership. It seems like they're just like, look, we sold you a bunch of gift codes and just led you to say a whole Flexa number thingy. So I don't know. It just seems like a giant, you know, as I said, nothing burger. And I'm not hating on it, because in a vacuum, this is pretty good. Because in a vacuum, you're like, I can actually spend crypto, like hold it and have it debited, and, you know, and get money, get goods and services for it at tons of places around the world now. I mean, it seems pretty good. The thing is, with a lot of services like BitRefill and with crypto debit cards, it's just, it offers absolutely nothing new except for a giant hype bomb, which, hey, you know, might have had something to do with the market pumping. Who knows? We can speculate.
You got anything you want to add to that, Jacob? Is there anything on the
first off,
side?
What did I say that you think is stupid or disagree with?
No, I think you brought up a few good points with it, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. Like, it's not these stores accepting it yet. It's basically what we like to call a bridge. So there's reasons that like VegaWallet over here, we're working on specific credit card applications for inside of our wallet as well, or the fact that our like complete point of sale will still accept credit card, or we're working on VegaPay down the line to kind of do like a similar thing, but not with like the actual gift card points, but with like converting it to actual US dollars so you can use it anywhere instead of the stores that sign up. But I think it's I don't think it's as big of an announcement as everybody's making it out to be, because the tech already exists. It's been around for a little bit now with like the companies like BitRefill. I just think that they just put a new UX on it and spent a lot more money advertising it, and that's why they're getting all the hype for it. I mean, you got to look at who's backing it right now, and like you're in Consensus and Gemini's all over all the top of the cabs and everywhere, and they have a presence. So I think it was time for them to kind of try to do something with it. I visited their booth. I kind of messed around with the app a little bit, and to me, it was literally just a new user interface over something that's been around for a while per se. But like I said earlier, sometimes it takes bridges like this to kind of mold the community or mold the no coiners into places that would benefit everybody in the crypto community. So I think it's a step in the right direction, but I don't think it's as big as everybody's making it out to be. Maybe like a baby step.
One small step for blockchain.
Yeah, you know what would
maybe
be
one small step for the Winklevoss twins.
Yeah.
Well, and a couple of disappointed glares from the Starbucks employees.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was funny. Because come on, think about this. I live in a place where I can spend crypto a lot of places directly. And there's a lot of new like places that don't get as much traction. Like say I go to like the smoke and vape shop, and I don't smoke or vape, but they have some CBD gummies for when, you know, you want to sleep better or something. So I don't go there often. Sometimes I go, hey, can I do crypto? And they're like, oh, and then the owner's like, no, just do this thing. So just saying a new thing is just, I've been just using Bitrefill around the spots that don't take crypto. A lot of these places don't remember how to do like the gift code thing. I remember, one time I went to one establishment and there was a person with disabilities behind the counter who they were doing great work, offering a job. And as soon as I was like, hey, can I do a gift code? He got very upset because he did not know how to do it. And then they showed him how to do it and it worked. So there's always that extra step with, hey, can I do a gift code? And then, but can I do Flexa? It's like, well, now what the hell is Flexa? It's like, that's a new thing for them to learn. And it's still just like a gift code thing. The only thing that is good about that I would really love to see Bitrefill or something like that use. Again, if you do this, you guys, you can get a lot of business.
Hold on, let me get my pen out.
Yes, absolutely. But if you can do the gift card service, like the big thing I like about the gift card thing is it is not custodial. It is not AML KYC. It is you buy stuff directly with your crypto, with your digital cash, and then you buy credit for the store and then trade that for stuff at the store, rather than you get a bank account, essentially, which is kind of what Flexa is, which is kind of what a crypto debit card is. It's still all the same old, you put your ID in and all that kind of stuff, go through the banking system. This is outside the banking system. So what would be great if the problem is, so with Bitrefill and other services, you can buy precise gift code amounts sometimes. So say you buy a burrito at Chipotle and he puts extra guacamole on and all that. So it goes out to like $12.67. If it gets to that, you can buy a gift card for exactly that amount. It just like there's going to be a hassle at the register, one sec, and then they can go geek and go scan it. Now, what would be great is if you could get say you got like a $20 gift card, which is like what I do now, get a $20 gift card or something. Because I don't know the exact amount. This is more of a US problem than anywhere else, because US says like adds the tax after and some nonsense. Then they scan it. If there's a way to instantly get a refund on the remainder of the balance, you just sell the gift code back to them. That would be fantastic. So you buy like a $20 gift code, beep, they scan it, and then they like the $7.50 or whatever that's left, you just sell it back to them and they give you Dash back right to the change address of whatever bought it. That little workaround would be basically like you just spend crypto everywhere. I'd just be like, hey, check this out. And it would be a little bit less forethought, like, wait, how much am I buying? Am I getting this much?
Don't want to check on their menu and like prices.
Yeah, because sometimes I've done that. I've done like $10 and then had like $2.67 in cash that I give them, because I don't want to just have like all this like gift dust around in the nether.
Wait, I had $5 on that card. Oh man.
Yeah. Or it's like 60 cents. I have had like 32 cents on a card and be like, hey, can you add? Yeah, I have been that guy. I'm sorry.
You just look like you're trying too hard with it.
I feel like we should plug giftcards.dash.org, courtesy of one sec. Yes, sorry. Thank you, Ezra, for pointing that out. Joel's screen was pinned.
Yes, and it's funny because I apologize if I had some sleepy faces while everyone else was talking or something, but hey, nothing wrong with that. And shout out to Core Visual in the chat for being funny and just saying, why am I only seeing Joel so big? And it's because I've been working out. Come on.
It's about those Dash gains.
Dash gains.
Right. So I've got a few more just general crypto stories. So we'll just get through those quick and then we can start talking about consensus. So Jacob.
Last thing on that ramble about the gift cards and all that kind of stuff about workarounds. But you know what is not a workaround? Crypto buyer integrating Samsung stores in Panama and Venezuela and soon possibly other places, but directly. So you actually pay the crypto. That isn't fake. That's the real deal with Bill McNeil. I don't know who Bill McNeil is, though. Yeah,
the crypto buyer POS solution is going over, and that's the solution that's been used in the Tracky stores as well, which is like a massive, big department store throughout Venezuela. There's 49 locations, and that's like their equivalent of like a Walmart or a Target. So that's really huge. And actually, Isabel from Dash News in Venezuela recorded a video there, merchant video recently. So make sure you check that out if you haven't done so yet. Anyway. some other news from this week, which was at the start of the week, which was considered big news, but I don't know how Jacob will feel about it. So Facebook announced that it is now rolling back the cryptocurrency advertising ban. So Jacob, this one's for you. Is Facebook, in your opinion, now bullish on crypto, or are they only doing this due to their own Facebook cryptocurrency project, which I believe is a stable coin called the Libra? What do you think?
So when it comes to social network advertising, this is going to be my first little segment on this. Social network advertising, right? So that's a big thing for regular onboarding, or to basically community outreach to onboard new users in the cryptocurrency community, correct? We saw the whole ICO schemes and the exit scams kind of ruin that on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram back in the day. And since then, there's a runaround or a workaround that you basically need to go through a bunch of registrations to be able to do this. And I can tell you from firsthand experience that VegaWallet has all necessary registrations, all paperwork, everything that we need, right? Let's say I think I've tried to submit them to Facebook about 15 times, and just through Facebook support and their lack of actual human interaction, nothing ever gets done with them. So you're basically looking at like big money players with direct connection to them being the only people able to advertise on Facebook now, and not the startups. And when you actually look at, if you look at their reverse on the cryptocurrency ban, it's not about coins, it's not platforms or wallets or exchanges or anything like that. The only thing that they drew back were cryptocurrency news in general, blockchain news, and like events and stuff like that. So anything non-platform related. But anything else still has to go through this registration process, where I can tell you right now, I'm probably on try 16 and I get the same answer from the computer every time the document's uploaded within a half a second, where no one even looks at it. No one does anything with it. Signed by lawyers from countries and all over the place, and acceptable literally anywhere else in the world for company proof and registration other than Facebook. That's my rant number one. That.
Yeah, you're I think what you're doing wrong is you're not part of a digital currency group.
Exactly. Wait, isn't that why Dash gets censored in a bunch of places too? Because
maybe, I don't know.
Competitors is Zcash, right?
Yeah, is it why Dogecoin got added to Coinbase already because of all the real users?
Mark, I see lately likes to talk about censorship too, especially on Reddit. So I mean, if we want to go through all this with that, we can jump off for 5 minutes so you can do your little rant, Mark.
Yeah, rant. You get your fired up.
Actually,
fired up, man.
Actually, Coinbase was actually on the last of my list of the general news. So as we mentioned Coinbase, we might as well tackle this one now. So I'll give this one to Jacob because I have one more final one, which I really want Joel to answer, because I think, Jacob, you might have missed this one, that consensus. So I think you'll want to listen to that one. But let's do Coinbase first. So, Jacob, Brian Armstrong announced that the Coinbase custody now has $1 billion of crypto under management. What are your thoughts on this? And as you're just talking about censorship, are you a fan of Coinbase yourself?
At first, I think during like 2017, when we saw like a large movement of people into crypto, I think Coinbase was responsible for a lot of the onboarding. I've got most of my crypto from mining and other ventures, but when it came to basic onboarding for the normal person, Coinbase provided an essential product at that time, right? At that time. Now you fast forward to 2019, and there's so many ways to onboard. There's so many ways to purchase now. There's so many ways to basically be a part of the community without giving up your private keys or all of your personal information just to be able to own your own crypto or to do what you want with your crypto. I think there's better options. It kind of, when we're looking at like total market caps of things or anything like that, it kind of scares me when so much of an asset is in one place under one single custody, especially looking at hacks or looking at something that could go wrong with their custody solution. That's a lot in one place, right? That's basically, I mean, no wonder they just announced their interest in loaning and margin trading and all the other stuff, because they, I mean, when you look at it and you compare to like total coins and circulation of some of the coins that they carry, how much does Coinbase actually own of those coins? And then you look at Digital Currency Group, and are they responsible for the ownership of those coins? I mean, when you look at their initial investments in some of the projects that are kind of listed on there now, I think it's just more of a way to push and maybe forward their investments. I mean, which isn't a bad thing. That's business, right? That's how business works. But when it comes to the rest of the community, I think it's a shortfall. I think that they're only introduced to a few that the people at Coinbase think are the best. But in my opinion, there's a lot of other projects that aren't listed there that actually do what those do better.
Yeah,
like
I had
cash.
I've seen on Twitter as well that there's been rumblings of Coinbase wanting to launch their own debit card as well, which kind of ties into what we were just talking about previously.
Didn't they used to have Shift, and then they canceled it?
I believe so, back in the day. I mean, they've been, I forget as well, like Coinbase actually bought out something this week as well. I know in the past they bought like earn.com and other places. They're trying to buy up lots of stuff, but they did a big purchase this week. I forget what it was, but they've just bought another thing up as well. But anyway, Jacob, you might have missed something while you were at Consensus.
Fill me in.
So, Joel, this one here, I'll give you the honors. So, we had a guest article this week on dashnews.org by Dr. Darren Tapp, who is a researcher for blockchain scaling and research at ASU University, Arizona State University. So, the event that happened was Bitcoin Cash experienced a bug during a scheduled hard fork upgrade. So I'm not sure if you saw this, but
I did. I stay active online. Yeah.
Good stuff. Right, Joel. For those that are listening and watching that were unaware of what happened, can you just give a quick breakdown of what actually happened?
Yes. So, and this is something I'm still a little fuzzy on because I'm not as technical, and there's also a lot of misinformation. Essentially, the prevailing narrative is there was a vulnerability in the Bitcoin Cash code base that was exploited by an external actor, supposedly, and that caused the network to basically not process any transactions, to only empty blocks for 2 hours, an hour, something like that, for like a big chunk of time. And then that got patched and it got fixed and everything worked out. And it was only, I think it was only in ABC nodes. It wasn't in like unlimited nodes or whatever else. So Bitcoin Cash community says that this is an attack. The outside world tends to just say it was a bug. Dr. Darren Tapp, who's a very big fan of Bitcoin Cash, right? He's a very big fan of Peter Risen's work on scaling. They have exchanged a lot of research ideas, been in contact with the Bitcoin Limited team. Definitely a big Bitcoin Cash fan, probably Dash #1, but Bitcoin Cash is like a strong #2. He was very disappointed at the way, and of course he spoke for himself. He wrote an article saying such. He's disappointed with the way things were rolled out because Dash uses the DIP format, Dash Improvement Proposal, model after Bitcoin Improvement Proposal, where they implement DIPs and then they basically work on a new release until it is finished. Now, for anyone who's ever seen that old Charlton Heston movie, The Agony and Ecstasy, about Michelangelo, there's that great line, "When will you make an end?" And he says, when I am finished," about painting the Sistine Chapel. So when will you make an end of this upgrade? When I'm finished. And so Dash version 0.13, which included automatic instant send, deterministic masternodes, a whole bunch of really cool stuff. 11 release candidates before they finally put it out there. And then since then, there's been 0.13.1, .2, and now .3. And that's kind of where we're at while waiting for 0.14. Very careful, because this is supposed to be a global financial network, and very careful to make sure everything works and everything is ironed out before you just thrust it on people. Now, for contrast, the Bitcoin Cash world seems to operate on a timeline-based development schedule, where I say, at this point, at this date, we're going to release a new upgrade. And I think that's I've heard from a few different Bitcoin Cash fans, or like former fans, or whatever you want to call them, that this is mainly a reactionary move to, again, this is I mean, I'm sure they have their own philosophy, but the philosophy came from a reactionary move to BTC. Just, oh yeah, we'll increase the block size at some point, and just never happening. Just like all these things, they have to be implemented. Like, let's just get development moving. So by having these hard dates, then you can actually keep cranking out code. The problem is, it's like, all right, we got another week. Let's work on this. All right, good enough. Put it out there, and then the whole thing crashes. Everyone just like, what does everyone hate us and call us Bcash? So, dude, but you could have fixed that. You could have spent more time. You could have just made sure you're putting out something that's 100% finished, not 98.76% finish, because it all is there's little exploits. There's a lot of, either jerks or just people that love, exploit hobbyists out there who just are looking through stuff and just.
We were talking about the Monero exploit on last podcast. Remember, I chimed in on the side. I mean, there's people that love just pointing stuff out, man.
Poking holes in things, and that's what we need in an open source development communities. We need lots of people who poke holes in things, because eventually there's going to be no more holes to poke. Eventually it just works. And that's one of the reasons why for the longest, Dash has a lot of code basing backports to Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's been around for, first off, Bitcoin's simple compared to a lot of these things like Ethereum and IOTA and stuff like that. But it's been around for a decade with like the whole cryptoverse just piling on there, checking out all the code, doing stuff. It's so solid. It does not mean it does not have exploits and problems that pop up. But I think it's madness to just be like, oh, we'll come up with our own hashing function that, destroys everything, or we'll roll our own crypto. And it's just like, I mean, as soon as Ethereum came out, if I were a hacker, which I know I'm way too stupid to be a hacker, but if I were a hacker, I would absolutely just send nothing, do nothing all day except just, munching on my bagel, drinking my coffee, and just going through all kinds of smart contracts until I found like a exploit, just like ruin someone's day epically over and over and over again because of all that complexity. You could be so good at making an airtight smart contract, but it's just, with all that complexity, it's just a virtual guarantee that there will be a lot of exploits.
Yeah, well, thank you for summarizing that. No, that was good. And also, I think Joel actually did a really good job actually breaking that all down. But if you would like to know more about that, if you go to dashnews.org, there is a article by Dr. Darren Tapp on that breaks it down and explains in detail what that was. Anyway, enough about crypto news. Let's start talking about consensus itself. So, Jacob,
did you see Ken Bozak?
I think
yes, I did. I saw
who didn't see Ken Bozak is the question.
or who wishes they didn't see Ken Bozak?
Talking about playing Fortnite together.
But yeah, did you have a good time? Was this your first time attending, and did it live up to your expectations?
Yes, it was my first time actually being at Consensus instead of just watching coverage over news sources. The overall feel this year, because of the price bump and because of all of the amazing news that was coming out, was everybody was just ecstatic to be there. It was like the happening place in New York Blockchain Week. There was so much going on, so many people from like all over the world, literally every corner of the world piling into the Hilton in New York for Consensus. It was hard to walk at some points. There were so many people. The conference rooms were full. The exhibit hall was full. I literally, like, from start of the day, getting there at like 7:30 to set up, get coffee, get breakfast. There was people that were like talking to me as before the event even started, and then all the way until like 5, 6 o'clock when everything's rolling down, there were still hordes of people coming up and talking to us. We had some members of the Dash Pay team with us. That was pretty cool. Some of your business devs, Omar. I got to spend time with Dana talking about evolution and some of our plans behind the scenes for that. I got to spend time with Ryan Taylor and Bob talking about everything and listen to them speak in regards to Dash. I think VegaWallet, we basically went to make a presence and gain some visibility in some of our product releases that are coming, talk about our partnerships, talk about what we have planned, show some demos of version 3. to some people, and I think it was overall a success. Tarek and I enjoyed ourselves. I know that we had a great time. It was a long road, Sunday to Thursday, continuous work, and then after the event, going to private events and talking to more people and talking more business. But overall, it was worth it. Overall, I think that every announcement that was made helped the crypto community. This year, there was no BS. There was no people coming up continuously to you to pitch their ICOs or try to get funding. All the community itself has passed all of that, right? I think that we're starting to mature so that the companies that went this year are the companies that actually are working in the space or have something to prove. They're all, I mean, to be a consensus, you have to have some backing, right? It's not a cheap event, like we were talking about before we started this stream. It's not a cheap event. So you need to be set. You need to have a way, and you need to have a roadmap that you're following. And when people come up to you and start talking to you about what you're doing, you need to know what you're doing. It's not just trying to get somebody to send you Bitcoin or ETH for an idea that you may make a year from now anymore. It's what do you have now? How are you going to improve it? They want to meet you in person and see your face, and basically it's all about reputation too, and gaining rep. And I mean, I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was definitely an experience from day one to the last day, and a lot went on, as you can see on the news and all the reporting. It was nice to get to meet everybody and kind of at the end of it sit back and say, wow, that was a good event. Like that was, I mean, to see like blockchain and Bitcoin take over like blocks of the city basically, and everybody, like everywhere you go, like it's being used more for the week. That was cool. Like a lot of places like accepted like cryptocurrency for that week to celebrate. And you got to think like that's, like we were talking about earlier, that's a bridge. Even if they only accept crypto for that 7 days to celebrate all the influx of wealth to the city in cryptocurrency, that's a bridge because they can see how easy it is to use. They can see all the benefits with it and all the people that come in and get excited about it. So I think overall for the city and for the community, it was awesome.
I like how you said, see how easy it is to use rather than see that it is easy to use. There's a little bit of a distinction there. It's like some of it, yeah, some of it, no.
Well, what was the coolest thing you saw at the event? You must have seen a lot of projects. So did you see something that really blew you away? What was the coolest thing you saw at the event?
And
the coolest thing I saw
you can admit it's booth babes, but okay. You could admit
the coolest thing I saw at the event was our stuff.
Yeah.
That's just me being me. I'm a businessman when it comes down to it, and I'm here to rep VegaWallet at the end of the day. And I mean, we spend a lot of time and coordination trying to make ourselves stand out. And a lot of the people, when you go to consensus, if they're not largely funded companies that are getting like 2, 3, 4 block spaces and putting up a big booth, they all just use the cookie cutter booths, right? The fabric back install with the table with their little graphic on it, and then everybody's sitting at a little round table on their chairs on their laptops, and they're not really helping themselves out, right? So we went all out, man. We put Major Vega up there. We had a bunch of stuff at our booth. We had a crypto ATM that we'll talk about later too at our booth, and we drew a lot of attention to ourselves with the lighting and literature and us getting up there. And I was like standing out in the middle of the aisle, man, trying to basically draw people to us and talk to people. And that's like one of the best things about that, just because when you compare to other companies and them standing behind their table, I come from a sales background, right? So I know that in stuff like this, you need to be flashy. You need to go out and get what you want. And I wish I would have seen a little bit more about that, but I mean, I'm not comparing. When you're like one of the only ones doing it, it looks good on you, right?
Well, yeah, and as long as you don't go to the whole like mall salesman trying to put lotion on people's hands walking by, as long as you don't go that far.
Use this.
Yeah, as long as you don't go that far. But I have noticed that there's this lack of hustle in the crypto world. The hustle tended to direct itself into the ICO/scam space, which they're not necessarily the same, but there is like some crossover. But I sound like the hustler type. You go, oh, yeah, man, I'll hook you up with this. I get my token sale. It's like all that stuff. But the actual like, I'm hitting the streets hitting up businesses to try to do this. I'm trying to get people on board to do stuff. That entrepreneurial spirit is pretty rough. And like, I'm not personally that good, but I am actually talking to businesses and trying to get them to go take crypto. And I've had some successes, but I think there needs to be some like epic hustlers just like going out there and just telling everyone, just go like full Jehovah's Witness, just knock on people's doors and just like, hi, you know.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's a little bit too far with it. I think you'd probably like go the back way. But like when it comes to like what you were talking about with hustling and stuff like that, there's a difference between just like being a hustler and then like having ambition and like believing in it, right? Like hustling is just, to me, it's about like getting what you want solely. But when I have ambition and belief that like my product is actually better than the competitors, or like my partners are better and our collaborations are better, it's easier to talk about, right? It's just, it comes naturally.
I've noticed that too, that there's very few good crypto businesses. There's been a lot, and that part of it is why so many go bust, is because we're crypto businesses, and because of having all that crypto, then the price goes up, and then a otherwise insolvent business ends up being okay, but then the price dips and then they go away. Oddly enough, I've found the best crypto businesses tend to be the ones that don't further adoption to the mass user very much, because they cater to customers, and the customers right now are crypto fanboys. So like, for example, Bitrefill is a company that has a lot of utility to people who own cryptocurrency, and they have a lot of Lightning Network related services too that help people that, you know, completely just want to use Lightning, and, you know, for no real reason other than fandom that they want to use Lightning. Like Casa Hodl and those nodes, that's a fantastic, genius idea of just making these cute little packaged nodes and just that you could send with a cool little name. And it's like, that's a fantastic business idea that knows its customer base, knows its branding, knows everything, and is very successful in that space. But you're not going to get mass adoption that way. You're just going to, the cryptoverse is very good at like self-servicing in that way. But it's like that killer app from like the old days, like what BitPay used to be. And this is the smack talk on BitPay and Coinbase for a little bit. I don't know if it's going to be too much smack talk, but those are some of the BitPay and Coinbase were like, BitPay, Coinbase, Purse were like the three musketeers of crypto mass adoption back in the day. Like, so much has happened because of those. You got Purse, where now anyone can spend Bitcoin on Amazon stuff, which, you know, is anything in the world basically. But not just that, they can save money by actually using a special property of cryptocurrency to make a profit and save people money. And that was a start. And then you get BitPay that just says, okay, look, you install this like easy little app, hook up your bank account, whatever. Instantly, you can start taking Bitcoin right now. 1%. That's it. Goes right to your bank. If you don't want to take all of it, that's fine. You want to keep a little bit, but still hedge. You can do that. Perfect. Fantastic use case. And then you get Coinbase. You just hook up your bank account, can easily buy and sell, and there you go. Perfect. Problem is, over time, they've sort of, like, first off, BitPay has not accepted anything that's not a Bitcoin. Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, that's it. It's like, well, what if your customer wants to spend Litecoin, which they don't? Okay, what if they want to spend Dash? No, can't do it. We only do this. And then, by the way, we're gonna tell people that they have to pay a lot extra for a Bitcoin invoice, even if it doesn't cost that much at the moment to send a transaction, to just try to inch people over to the Bitcoin we want them to use. And by the way, they have to use these BIP70 payment codes that almost no wallet can use, because like, we just that's the way we're going to do things. And then of course Coinbase trying to pick winners and losers and just say like, we're going to add these coins, but we're not going to like add the others like Dash. And that's not exactly good either. And then Purse, the same thing, just still their cool, viable business model, but now with expensive Bitcoin fees, it doesn't make sense. And for the longest time, they held off on doing Bitcoin Cash, and they don't do anything else. And I've petitioned them for so long to get Dash added, and they never did before Bitcoin Cash even existed. So those ones started out being amazing for bringing mass adoption to cryptocurrency, and then have since kind of fallen into the loop of like servicing the current crypto nerds. And if you're a business person out there, and they might not have one on the call, we'll see, but huge opportunity. The cryptoverse is so self-servicing that anything you can do to get out there to get the regular person, no one's playing your game. You have to win by default.
Okay, so back to consensus.
Rant. I'm sorry.
Jacob.
Him and I like going off on tangents.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring it back to consensus. So, okay, back to reality. Jacob, VegaWallet is a strategic partner of Dash. And as this is the Dash podcast, what I would like to ask you is that when you were networking and talking to people at your booth about Dash, how did people react in general that you spoke to? Did most people know what Dash was, or did some people like, what's Dash? Because you've got a lot going on. So would you mind giving that feedback?
Yeah. So first off, we had the I don't know if anybody on the podcast saw the pictures of the booth and your team at the booth, but we did have the Dash logo on one of our panels right above our monitor with like a little evolution under it to kind of display the future possibilities as well. I will say that a lot of people came up and asked us about Dash, right? But it wasn't people asking what Dash was. Every single person knew what Dash was, right? You'd be surprised at the amount of fans that Dash has out there that follow you but aren't active on social media or aren't active on any of the things where you'd hear from them, right? They follow you in the background. Like, I think the first day I had 5 or 6 people alone tell me that, oh, I've been following them for a while. I like what they're doing. Like, what are you guys doing with them? You know what I mean? Like, where do you come in? Why is their logo up there? And we'd go through about how we're a strategic partner and future collaborations with the evolution and some of our plans along that and reaching out into further industries together. And they were surprised. They were ecstatic that that they were reaching out through other companies. And then when they got to see the Dash Pay guys at our booth and know that like, oh, this is actually legit. It's not just their logo up there for no reason and them talking BS trying to get customers in. It's something actually happening, right? And there was a lot of interest in Dash specifically in payments with us and the point of sale because I see a lot of our followers. Both yours and mine are basically interested in that because that's one of our main things that we go for, the real world application thing, right? Not just the speculative thing. And we all love the price action, the speculation, making some money off a little bit of volatility. But at the end of the day, and I just gave another interview about this, for me, it's all about crypto payments and how that basically is going to change everything from traditional banking to the underbanked. Everything that you can imagine can be changed by crypto payments, right? And when it comes down to it, everybody was asking me, and I was like, one of the reasons that we partner with Dash is because when you're looking at it, like Bitcoin and everything is fantastic, right? They're all fantastic. Granddaddy of all this technology, and I give my ode to Bitcoin every day. But when it comes down to like actual payments and like micro payments, or if I'm a retail store and I need to start accepting payments, if I'm selling small purchase items, Bitcoin doesn't make sense for them. It doesn't. I worked in retail for a very long time, sales manager for a very long time. And I'm telling you that right now, for some of the small items, the small market items and stuff like that, it doesn't make sense. But when you look at Dash's like analysis, and I think your average transaction over the course of one of the months was like $12 to $13, right? That's like perfect for retail. That's perfect for small market retail. And I was telling people this about how we're doing point of sale and we're doing the back ends of the point of sale because everybody wants to talk about all these companies starting to like let you accept payments and do all this when it comes to crypto. But no one wants to talk about like the store side of it, right? And I've been on the store side of it when a vendor wants to come in and sell me an extra product and put something extra on my cash wrap, right? And it just gets cluttered. And then there's more invoices and more bills and all this paperwork that doesn't need to be there. And I'm confused on how to use this thing. And their customer support sucks. So one of the things that we focused on was saying, look, like we're a whole platform. We're not just going to we're not going to put a little QR thing on your counter and say here that you can accept Dash and other cryptocurrency now. Now it comes down to literally from the product, the point of sale that's coming out is literally from start to finish, developed in several different ways. So your Venezuelan user base can use it on a laptop that they have. If they don't have access to something that's small mom and pop shop, they can literally use their phone, their laptop, anything they need to run their business. But then you go on to like when we were on like Fifth Ave in New York, it would work for them too because we offer the high-end luxury models where they can lease the hardware and everything. And it's not just accepting the payments, right? It's the inventory management. It's the possible crypto payroll. It's the tax help that no one wants to talk about. The taxes are a big thing and no one wants to talk about when they say, yeah, you can accept crypto now, right? As a business owner in the US, that's huge. You need to know how that works because if someone's like, oh yeah, you can accept crypto now, or like you can accept Dash now, right? A year later when they're filing their taxes and they don't understand anything about the crypto payments or the price volatility or when they cashed out, that's a problem for them. That's a problem. So we want to address that and a bunch of other solutions. And I think that when I was talking about all this, one of the main things that got brought up is Dash and Dash Evolution. But being like one of the main benefactors and the main collaborations and the main integrations and all of this to basically make it run smoothly.
Yeah, that is one thing that I've noticed has been when talking about all these integrations and solutions and things like that is first off, there's just a lot of not good things out there for businesses. So there's a lot of things that are like, for example, just like a really simple front end kind of thing that's just like, all right, well, how do I then do taxes, payroll, inventory stuff? Figure it out. Yeah, that's no good. And then there's some other systems that try to like, no, we want to replace your point of sale system, but they're not as good as the fiat ones. And it's just like you're stuck. You don't get this new hardware. It's like, so first off, my observation on that is I think that crypto accepting point of sale systems and like full on business solutions have to be competitive with the fiat ones for accepting fiat. It has to be willing. It has to be good enough for someone to switch because, otherwise people are probably happy with what they have.
And for now too, you have to provide both of those as well. So in like jurisdictions, like we provide like cash options and cash drawers to add on, and we provide credit underwriting options because it just doesn't work in most areas, especially like where we live, for a business to only accept crypto, right? There needs to be that bridge still. So you need to put them all together for now.
Yeah, so they all have to be on the same system. So one solution is just say, hey, we have this awesome, Vega Pay thing. Square sucks. We're out for more competitive rates for your credit card processing and things like that. It's like, okay. And then they're like, and we also do this. And it's like, so you're moving to a better solution, which is not enough to get them to switch, but you get to take crypto too, and just, you can export all your other shit into this. It's like, okay, now maybe they'll switch. Yeah. Now, the holy grail, of course, is the integration into other systems. Like say someone is using Clover and they're like, oh, let's just get a little Clover app integration. And then it just has like the VegaWallet crypto processing bit in there and just automatically integrates into all their current payroll and inventory and stuff. They don't have to buy a new system. They don't have to do anything. They just check a little box through a partnership with them. And then you do partnership with Square. Although if Square is on that same Jack Dorsey lightning train, they might not want to do anything. But
I think they're going to be like a solely lightning kind of thing at first, or just solely Bitcoin at first with how Jack Dorsey is. But talking about integrations, there's like, we're doing APIs, e-commerce plugins. We're looking for, and you guys even know this, and your biz devs definitely know it. We talk to other companies all the time. So like when you're looking at our like wallet update that's coming out, I think we have 5 different third-party integrations in the wallet update from like different partners and collaborators. Basically, if somebody does it better, or if somebody offers a service to somebody that person's happy with, I'm happy to assist in making it better through what we have, or have them help us assist our customer base in making it better as well. That's just how, when we talk about like collaboration and how everything works, and you're talking about like mass adoption, one of the things that's never going to work for this space is everybody just fighting over the same thing, right? So why not like partner together for a little bit and actually make something happen? Because if everybody just worked together for like at least a month, I guarantee
it would work for everyone.
I guarantee there would be way more improvements in every protocol and in every payment system, every wallet, everything.
But this is a unique talking point, collaboration. And of course, you was at consensus with VegaWallet to network, right? And I'm hoping you were successful and you spoke and made many new contacts.
Yeah.
But, VegaWallet does support other cryptocurrencies, right? However, you do have a strategic partnership with Dash.
Yes.
So when you're talking to these new contacts, networking, and you're talking about the collaborative spirit that you have with Dash, that's a great talking point. And did you discuss this with them, or did people ask about that? Like, well, why are you doing this with Dash? Why can't you do this with other cryptocurrency projects?
Yeah, it actually goes a long way when it comes down to it. We're talking to like a partnership or even networking a little bit. When we say like, look, this is what we're doing. These are who we have on board. We talk about Dash, some of our traditional partnerships, like for the underwriting and all that stuff, and kind of show them that like, look, we're a whole system. Like, we're not just here to like tell you that like this is all going to be made. Like, this is happening. This is what we have. This is what we have planned with actual partners and backing from the community. And when you're like talking to somebody for the first time and they're asking about VegaWallet, that always goes a long way, every single time.
Excellent. Right.
People like the Dash name. People like the DAO.
Well, I'm very happy to hear that you got to hang out and meet with the Dash core group while they were at Consensus, those that were attending. I know you said you was hanging out with Omar from the biz dev team quite a bit. May I kindly ask if you saw Ryan Taylor and Bob Carroll speak and give their presentation, because the community saw the announcement and the time and the dates, but there hasn't been any footage or anything released to date. So was you in the audience? Did you see that talk? And can you talk a little bit about it? Was it good? What was your reaction?
Yeah, I was actually, so I got to sneak away from my booth for a little bit and have Tarek and Dia cover the booth because I wanted to go see Dash talk. But I sat right in the front row, right in front of Ryan. Behind like the PR people with Omar, and got to listen to Ryan and Bob speak. And I think they did a fantastic job on talking about everything that you guys have planned for like the further updates to the version now, and then going on to like 0.14 and then going on to Dash Evolution and some of the things that you guys have recently approved with like the investment fund. Ryan was very, very ecstatic. Like as soon as that came up, dude, Ryan's face like lit up. It was awesome to see, and he like just went at it about how he fully believes in the non-ownership investment model and how it's all set up legally, and who the trust. You're one of the trust protectors, right, Mark?
Correct. Yes.
The trust protectors are, and your name was actually up there on the screen. You got a little bit of publicity. You were with us at Consensus. Your name was there.
Wow, that's great. Well, we got a little bit of inside track. I thank you for talking about that, because a lot of the community were asking, what was the talk about? So that was really good inside track. So obviously they only had like a half an hour slot, and Bob was talking as well, which I'm guessing Bob, being the CTO, spoke more about the software development side, where
like, instant send, chain locks. He talked a lot about the masternode network and some things like that. I know that a lot of his stuff is more technical, so I don't want to quote him on anything and get one word wrong and then everybody be like, but I'm sure that you'll see coverage on that. I know that CoinDesk had cameras in the back filming the whole thing. It usually takes events about a week to get the raw footage processed, and they'll put a nice frame on it for you guys, and everybody will get to watch it like they were there, like just like there next to me.
Oh, I hope that is the case. I hope we do get to see that footage, because I know the community is eager to see it. But yeah, it was great. So by the sounds of it, you're saying that Ryan discussed the new Dash Investment Foundation and spoke about the Dash Trust Protectors as well, which is really good. And I think for that audience there, talking about decentralization and actually moving forward, like innovating, that's really good for me to hear. And I hope the community listening and watching as well will appreciate that as well. Anyway, I don't want to, as you're from VegaWallet, I don't talk about Dash Core Group so much, but you have been doing a lot of business development with them, and you're a man on a mission, because you have a lot of projects going on. Some we can talk about, and there's still some yet to be announced that we can't, which is strictly top secret, confidential, that we're not allowed to talk about. So let's just jump straight to the announcement, because while you had the booth there, and obviously the main objective was to, raise awareness, network, make new contacts for VegaWallet, you was there with a new partnership announcement. Can you just talk a little bit about this, please?
Yeah, so we actually have a few partnership announcements coming out over the course of the next week, along with our new version launch. But the one announcement that kind of, it wasn't even really we needed an announcement. We just put it in people's faces right there, right? We had a bright red cryptocurrency ATM next to our booth from our new partner, Cobalt, who works with a bunch of other companies nationwide to basically insert cryptocurrency-enabled ATMs. Some of them two-way ATMs, right? Into locations, into shops, anywhere that anybody would want to put one that is legal in that jurisdiction. So we announced a new partnership with them. We're in version 3 of our wallet. You'll actually be able to locate ATMs right in your wallet because we realized that while we're actually providing several different sources of debit ACH on ramps for our users as well with the upgrade, that some people are still going to want to do the whole fiat to crypto thing, right? Or some people it just may be more convenient. Let's say you don't have a bank account and this is your way of sending money. I think that offering the services to help these people locate them in-app, possibly get referral codes for cheaper fees, and then have a dedicated, trusted wallet for these people to use after that is a big thing. And then on the other side of the partnership as well comes the retail and point of sale placement. Because like we were talking about earlier with basically offering full services, right? So this was like a talking point at Consensus a lot. And I think that there's like a video of me getting interviewed talking about this too. But if we're passing a store, right, and that store has one of those like Bitcoin or we accept Dash or cryptocurrency stickers in the window, right? Everybody on this call and everybody watching this stream get excited, okay? But anybody that's a no corner or just normal walking down the street could literally care less, or they may not even know what it means, or they're like, Bitcoin, okay, you know what I mean? So what you do for the store is, yes, they now accept Dash, they now accept cryptocurrency, but when the user walks in, you give them a way to onboard, and you put it right in their face, big bright ATM right in their face, so that they not only know that they can spend it there, they can buy it there, right? So what they do, they go in, buy crypto, spend crypto. They're walking out with that store's product, right? And they're walking out with more cryptocurrency, and now they're a cryptocurrency user. And even if not everybody does this at first, it's still helping to onboard people. So I know that that's a big talking point with that, and that's one of the things that a lot of other companies will overlook. And when we're talking about like collaboration and stuff like that, like I said, any way that we can make it easier for our users, Dash users, the cryptocurrency community in general to do this, then we're going to do it. And this isn't actually our only ATM partner. You guys will hear a little bit more news about that next week. Some big stuff coming up. I think with all of our partners, we have a network of over 400 ATMs in the United States alone for our users to locate and work with. And then, like I said, we're going to be helping with placement of more. And I know that we want to get into this too. So one of the things with the placement of our ATMs is Cobalt has actually agreed to place ATMs in cannabis dispensaries using the VegaWallet point of sale, which is big. Cash handling for these dispensaries is a huge deal. When the dispensaries are, I've talked to several people that own and run the dispensaries, and if we can make it easier in any aspect for these people to accept funds or for people to on ramp into cryptocurrency payments, you're basically helping to protect them. You're helping to protect their money. You're helping to protect the customer. That's a big thing as well that a lot of people don't see, and other use cases as well. I mean, you're basically helping to take half of that cash flow or a portion of that cash flow to start out of circulation and provide them with Dash or another supported cryptocurrency, right? Because for these companies, it's one thing walking out with briefcases full of money or transporting all this cash. It's another thing checking in somewhere or going through an area where you have your phone with you, right? That's about it. Your phone, hardware wallet, whatever you want to store your money on. I prefer VegaWallet. We have multi-sig. We can go into all of that. But all this essential knowledge and basically business that should have been implemented in this stuff a long time ago, because they don't have access to traditional banking most of the times, what we're doing is basically setting up a new fund storage system for them. a new way to store their digital assets, to transact in digital assets, and basically replace what any bank would offer to them with the VegaWallet ecosystem and our partners.
Man, that's amazing. Like, that's mega news. I mean, right. So over 400 ATMs that you'll be able to find from the VegaWallet app, which is amazing.
To start.
Can we just have clarification though? So you said the Koval have agreed to have ATMs in cannabis dispensaries, which is great. Are the ATMs in cannabis dispensaries already, or is that something yet to happen in the future?
We've just announced the partnership, so now is time to start.
Wow!
So if you're a dispensary out there, or if you work with a dispensary and you're looking for a cryptocurrency ATM, hit me up. You can find my contact information, or just at me on Twitter, and I can help you out. So this is something that's going to affect right away, even before.
Oh no, I lost.
Now I'm talking to you on this call.
Oh, Jacob, you cut out then for like 5 seconds,
Oh,
and it was just on the good bit. So, right. So you were saying that you were hoping that in the next, and then it kind of cut out.
So yeah, we're basically, like I said, we're placing them right now. That we've already started. Before we're about to launch our point of sale at the end of next quarter. And but we've already started with the ATMs, just because it's time to start making a presence in these locations. And for a lot of these locations that are still worried about some of the regulations that we're working on right now, I don't think it's a bad idea to just put that crypto ATM there and show your customers, hey, look, we're interested in this. And then by the time you do put the point of sale in there, you already have a specific percentage of your customer base that are familiar with cryptocurrency, right?
So if there are other ATM operators or manufacturers watching this, what is fake? Because these ATMs, companies existed before and they had their own software. What is VegaWallet offering them? Are you helping them on the exchange on the background? You mentioned about the POS side, which is fantastic because it creates that full loop, as you say, positive feedback loop, right? Because it creates that whole circle of ecosystem. But are you helping on the exchange side, the POS side? We
also have so we're helping on the point of sale side, generating the whole ecosystem for them. It's one thing to have an ATM outside or like in the corner of your store where you don't really focus on the cryptocurrency side, like payment side of it, right? It's another thing to literally insert it into the whole payment ecosystem in your store. We can help them with liquidity on the back end. We've also been looking into having a dedicated, so in version 3 of VegaWallet, we have an optional KYC AML for some of our onboarding, right? We've been looking into making that the official KYC AML of these crypto ATMs, yet to be determined. But what they could basically do is you only sign up for your VegaWallet account, right? You go through KYC, optional. And what that would allow you to do is just scan your registration or your account code or a QR code at these ATMs, skip the whole KYC process because they instantly know that you're a registered user. And it takes the time down from like 5 minutes to buy to literally you just pick what you want, put your cash in, scan your code, and like 30 seconds to a minute.
Are you open to working with other providers?
Yeah, we're open to working with anything, basically, because you got to think in different areas, there's going to be different competitors, right? There's going to be different players in each area, and even that internationally. If anybody's watching internationally and has an ATM company or connections with an ATM company, and you're looking for more visibility to your partner, just let us know, and I'd be glad to talk to you guys. And
well, say for example, if Joel knew someone at Lamassu, would that be a conversation that you'd like to have?
I would always be interested in any conversation you guys want to set up for us. I mean, I think I talked with your biz devs every other day. We're on like first name basis, how's your family doing now kind of conversations. But everything that we always go through, collaborations, I'm on the phone with each and every one of them, right? And sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. And sometimes they're huge news and sometimes it's just a little integration, right? So I'm always up for business.
Is there anything like specific or unique for Dash in this? Because obviously VegaWallet supports a number of cryptocurrencies, and of course these ATMs do as well. Is there any added benefit for Dash, or is it just like that extra added exposure and availability for people to get into Dash?
So it's exposure, right? If we're talking about cannabis, we can go into all 36 deal, right? So you have all of these Dash focused cannabis dispensary and like front ends. We've had some conversations with all 36 as well, and working with them on like a complete solution. I'm not going to say anything's too official yet, but we've been in communication with them a lot through Dash Biz Dev. And one of the things that puts Dash above most of the other coins and competitors when you're talking about ATMs is instant send. You have automatic instant send, right? So, Dash would literally be the best coin to buy in these dispensaries right away, because you don't have to wait a few minutes for it. You don't have to wait for extra confirmations or for transactions to go through. It's literally like you press buy and with automatic instant send, I get it in a minute, right? So if people are looking for a quick, fast way to onboard and then spend it and then be on their way out of the store, like most people in today's age are, I think that Dash has the best use case there.
Interesting. Joel, well, you live in the crypto mecca of the United States. I think you've got a few crypto ATMs in New Hampshire, correct? You've got quite a few.
I don't think I've ever used one because I already have plenty of crypto.
We don't want to advertise that too much, but yeah.
Well, I'm saying
yeah,
like it's no secret that I don't really have fiat.
Oh, are they like? Do you know what provider that are they? General Bytes ATMs or?
There have been a couple Lamassu around because the Lamassu founders, good friends of mine, used to live here, and then now they're in who knows where. But there's a lot of General Bytes. A few different. They had like Skyhook as well around. I don't know. There's been so many permutations, but the big old General Bytes ones with the screen, like those ones tend to be the ones that are more common.
Yeah, this is kind of fascinating. I think a lot of, especially the Masternode network, if there's any Masternodes listening and watching, I think they'll take a particular interest into the all 36. It's a shame we can't talk about it more because we know like the ATMs are playing a really big role in that, and the fact that you're having conversations showing that there's a lot more stuff going on behind the scenes that we can't see. But as long as things are moving forward,
scenes that you and us can talk about, but until anything's always official and on paper, let's leave it there.
Yeah, I can totally understand. But this is a good thing because, this year we really wanted to focus on use cases and utility, right? So obviously we identified the cannabis industry. We're now moving into gaming and stuff as well. Now,
gaming, yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to talk about gaming. Maybe soon on another podcast, right?
Man, is there anything that you're not doing in the crypto world right now? You've got a project going on everything.
I'm a gamer at heart, right? It was a cool story when I was in New York. Okay, I got to meet one of my Xbox Live friends for the first time in person, and that's awesome. Like you make relationships through gaming that literally can last a lifetime. But the one thing with gaming is like when we talk about it and like Dash and crypto in general, like you see tons of articles about it. It's literally one of the perfect first use cases, real world applications for like online payments and stuff like that. Gaming items, gaming payments, tournaments, anything like that. Gaming related, cryptocurrency plays a vital role in the future of those products. And it'd be stupid of me not to get into that conversation because for us, when you develop a platform, it's complicated to develop the platform at first, right? But if you develop it in a way where you can mold it and twist it a little bit for certain applications, then why wouldn't you go into it?
Right. I just want to ask you one final question on the consensus issue. VegaWallet put out a tweet of a photo of you and the CEO and Ryan Taylor, Dash Core Group CEO. But it wasn't the photo that caught my eye. It was actually the status that went with the tweet itself. And it said, VegaWallet and Dash Core are working together on crypto payment applications and integrations for Dash's upcoming Evolution blockchain upgrade. So you're working on some dApps then, are you? Is that what is that the takeaway?
I had some complicated conversations with one of your business developers or lead developers, Dana, about how we should tackle some of the the real world applications for what Dash wants to do with evolution. And when it comes down to it, and when you're working towards evolution, VegaWallet is actually going to be working side by side with your team on several of the developments, and basically saying, okay, we've now added this, and we believe the Dash system can do this. How do we put this into a real world application and make it do this? So you're looking at some major announcements as we go forth with specifically the VegaWallet back end of our point of sale. When you're talking about if anybody's familiar with what evolution can do, and then you compare it to the back end of any business, I think that there's several synergies there. We're talking about a lot of integrations when it comes to the front end, and you're looking at Dash Pay usernames. I don't think Dash Pay Wallet's going to be the only wallet to use Dash Pay usernames.
No, it'll be like, I think the original, the iOS and Android regular ones will as well, like parallel.
Well, I'm talking about not only your wallet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be fantastic. That's going to be the most annoying thing in the world, will be trying to get everyone else to like integrate evolution into their shitty multi-coin wallet. And it's just like, dude, why are you using terrible Dash? You can use fantastic Dash. But just like instant send by default, once you get in there with enough people are going to be like, why am I messing around with this other coin? It's just like, it can't do all this stuff that the Dash does.
Well, the thing for us is to make it automatic for people in the back end, right? The main thing when we talk about usability in real world applications is, especially, so VegaWallet, we do serve the little crypto niche, right? But in a lot of our upgrades and the new system that you guys will see, like the wallet system coming out this week, we basically took the UX and made it more user friendly into the beginning stage, because we didn't dumb it down so much that as a veteran like us, you would be like, oh my God, like this doesn't work for me. It's different. We basically made it simpler to follow. We took out all the stuff that doesn't need to be there, added the stuff that does need to be there. We have like a contact book now. You can literally save Dash addresses. It's like the preliminary Dash Pay username thing. You can literally save Dash addresses or cryptocurrency addresses next to a name in the wallet, and then you can go click on that and click send and put in the amount and go, or you can view the transaction of them or edit the contact. There's a lot of stuff that we're doing right now that it basically makes it feel not necessarily like you're using like the old crypto wallets or where you need to even know a lot about it. And if you don't know a lot about it and you want to learn more, there's built-in tutorials for it. Literally full tutorial page in the wallet with easy to read tutorials that basically take you side by side on everything that you need to do. But when you're looking at any upgrades for like, and I talk about this with your devs too, when we're looking at anything for the future, right? And we're looking at mass adoption and basically increasing the user base of what we believe is going to change the world, you need to make it simpler for the person that you want to change it for.
So the words of the day are keep it simple, stupid, and also fake it till you make it, right? You're like faking the...
Our two words at Consensus, they were on the front of our booth, were literally simplicity and security. That was it.
Well,
that's great.
Won't the addition of Dash usernames present you with user experience problems? For example, I'm a new user and I download the VegaWallet, and all of a sudden I can get a Bitcoin account, an Ethereum account, and a Dash account. If I want to set up Dash, then all of a sudden I've got to create like a username, which is a great addition for Dash, because it's kind of like, wow, all I need to know is remember my username, right? Because I'm guessing you could take that, you could be able to use that username and then use that elsewhere, right?
All going to be automated, all automated for the user.
Right. So, but in terms of like the user experience, do you think that's going to be a distinct advantage for Dash? Is that going to be a hindrance or a help? What do you think?
It'll be a help. It'll definitely be a help. It makes it a lot simpler for any Dash payments. I mean, when you're talking about like what you want to attach to it and like payment requests and the ability to do some things with like possible invoicing and stuff like that, I think that when you look at that and look at that, like, okay, this tech is already integrated into this organization's blockchain, and we don't need to build anything on top of it. We can just change this and create a UI and do all of this on top of it. You're going to be looking at the creation of basically, and I hate to say it, more competitors for me, right? Because you're going to make it so simple to use for these people that if everything's set up right, there's no reason that a company would not accept Dash or use Dash as their main protocol for payments.
Interesting. Well, can I make a feature request? And it's going to be a bit of deja vu from last
If
week.
your face on it, if I'm putting your face on it, listen.
Well, yeah, sorry. The Stay Dashy theme is still an absolute must. But actually, this is a topic we discussed last week. We had Benjamin from Delta Engine who's creating a My Dash wallet. He actually has an Android application, but he's doing upgrades on it.
Yeah, I watched
and one of the things we're discussing is a topic Joel's very passionate about, which is private send. And you mentioned security and stuff as well. When we talk about Dash being digital cash, it's all about fungibility. Now, we know
putting the fun in fungibility.
With the Dash Pay DApp in its MVP, as it's really focused on onboarding new users and mass adoption, it's not going to have private send in the MVP. But because there'll be modular updates, and at some point in the future, I expect there will be. But by design, it's not going to be that way in the MVP. Have you looked at integrating private send? Have you asked about it? Because there's a lot of technicality that comes with it as well, with in terms of the mixing of the coins and stuff as well. Does that interest you?
It does. One of the major things that originally got me into crypto and like the crypto movement in the first place was the anonymous transactions and the privacy features of a lot of these coins. And but when you're looking at it from a developer side, when you're integrating all these extra features for a user, or when I'm using like BitGo multi-sig in the background for some of our custody solutions, it makes it hard to kind of veer off on a path towards privacy. So for us, it was literally we had two choices, right? We had make it easy and make it accessible, and basically keep everybody's funds as secure as possible using the best storage methods that we think, the best recovery phrase deliveries that we think, or go with a different option where we basically run this on our own and we set up our own security protocols around it and focus solely on the privacy aspect of it. So for us, when you're focusing on a mass adoption, for us, it was literally, okay, what is and we all voted on it too, what is the most secure way for us to store this Dash, right? What was the best way for us to store this Dash? And at the time, when BitGo was one of the original custody solutions to kind of integrate the instant send and all the extra features for Dash, that was one of the main talking points of that. But unlike, and even with all the other coins that they carry, like they don't provide shielded Zcash addresses. They don't do anything privacy related. So for us, it was basically saying, okay, how can we keep them safe? And at the same time, when we were talking to BitGo and everything, we wanted to make sure that the user had their keys. So even though we do use a custody solution, it's a hot wallet that you do have your keys with. You have full control. And when it comes down to it, look, if you don't plan on onboarding, like from fiat to crypto in the app, right? There's no reason that you'd ever have to really submit any of your information in the first place. So when we're talking, I don't want to get too far into that, but I mean, anybody can generally understand where that comes from. But no, there's no coin mixing. We're not there yet with that. There's no transaction mixing or address shifting or anything like that yet.
I think there's a real opportunity there. I mean, Joel, in terms of having a mobile wallet, having that private send functionality is huge, because right now it sounds like only My Dash wallet is trying to tackle that issue. And I think actually having another one, a lot of the diehard Dash people, you want this, right? This is what you want. And I think
I want it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to be honest, like obviously it's the privacy thing is going to not be mainstream for a long time. I think people right now just think that it's like anonymous drug money, and then there's regular payments, and they don't realize that transparent regular transactions have their own associated risks, and that aren't associated with, say, paying by a bank card today, or not the same. But at some point we're going to see that in like a mass adoption kind of a way. But yes, I think it's fantastic to have private send in mobile. My Dash Wallet's probably going to be the pioneer, but then I hope they put it in the Android and iOS regular wallets. I don't know if Dash Pay will ever have it. We'll see. I'd hope so. It would be great to have it as many services as possible. Generally speaking, the more of Dash's advanced features show up in other platforms, the better. Mm-hmm. But I would put private send at the bottom of the list to be like in just about every platform. I think it's close to the top for me personally, just to have something where I could use it reliably on mobile. But as far as like, do we need something like VegaWallet to have private send, or is just I'm not going to use it? Not really. I mean, the real killer is number one, top of the list is be able to recognize instant send transactions.
Exactly.
That's the super that's super top of the list.
Dash with anything, instant send, it puts you on top.
Yes. The second thing is going to be usernames and stuff, because, and I think that's very important. When you're in a multi-coin environment, it's not as important because you're like, well, I can send for my Dash username, or I can do the old QR code way for the other coins. It's kind of like, well, just Dash has usernames. And so people just kind of like generally won't want to mess around with too many other things. But once they do, they're going to be like, oh, well, this is awesome. Like, why doesn't the other coin have this? I'm going to dump that shit coin. But number one, instant send by default, because everyone sends and receives. And if it just works right away, you can't compete with that. But like, people aren't going to really realize the benefits of privacy until like much later, I think.
And then by then there may be other solutions on Dash, and the code may be easier. You know what I mean? It may be a simpler integration. Things change over time, and the way that we code things and develop things and show things to the public changes over time as well. But like he said, the main things for us were basically instant send, and when it comes down to it, security of your funds. And that's why we chose the route that we did.
So you mentioned earlier about VegaWallet version 3 going live. Do you just want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, so we have version 3 was planned to go live for consensus. We have demos. It's come a long way since the last time I was on the podcast and shared you guys screens of it. However, we ran into a bug with one of our third-party partners and integrators, and I'm a firm believer in delivering a flawless product, but I still wanted to keep that function in there because it was very important to me and the use cases I wanted to provide. So now we're looking at a release this coming week.
Excellent. So if you would like to learn more about the Covalt announcement, make sure you check out dashnews.org on Monday, as we'll have a post on that, which thankfully I'm grateful to Jacob passing on some information. So that's going to be going out, so you can learn more. And then from what Jacob was saying earlier, it sounds like in a week's time there's going to be another ATM announcement. And then
another ATM announcement, and I think more partnerships and integrations, and then the announcement for our app going live. So this is kind of like coming up our own blockchain week.
And I think you said, what is it, like in a month's time, you're going to talk about VegaPay? Is that right?
So VegaPay is coming up, but we do have some other things that we're going to be talking about, specifically with some features of our exchange that's coming up. That basically plays the intermediary within our user system for the wallet and the point of sale, and kind of helps these functions and these features on these interact with each other.
Well, please do stay in contact. I'm particularly interested about these ATM locations. One, to add them to Discover Dash, of course, so people in the Dash community can locate them.
I get the API. Do you have coding for Discover Dash?
We don't have an API for Discover Dash, but if you want to talk about it off camera, we can definitely.
Let's make something happen.
Because we do have a mobile app created by the Really Bad Apps, who's a separate entity who put in, but they're not using an API. So although you can locate ATMs, it's not done that way. But I'm open to having a conversation about that. And I think with the cannabis dispensaries and things moving forward, not just with yourself but with other partners as well, it's going to become a much bigger thing. And I really like the way the direction you're moving with VegaWallet, that you're focusing on not just like multiple avenues, but you just want to put everything in just one place. So you don't have to go into multiple different, sign up to multiple different platforms. You could just got it all in one. So I can buy, sell, I can have my wallet. I've got the pay. I can do everything. I can find ATMs, and that's how it should be. nice, simple, and it should focus on be user friendly, right? It's all about ease of use. If you make it easy, people don't even have to question how it works. And I guess that's
the Dash way.
That's the ultimate goal, right? Cryptocurrency your grandmother can use. You remember that?
Way, brother.
Right, probably about time to wrap it up now. I'm playing Brian this week because he's not here.
Yeah, I know we've gone a bit over time, so I do apologize. So, Jacob, VegaWallet.com, is correct?
VegaWallet.com. You're actually going to be seeing a bunch of releases on there as well, updates, possibly even a new web portal too. And then if you want to find out anything on social media, it's usually at VegaWallet. I'm at Mr. Ballou. If you want to follow me, and I'm sure that I'll be available to answer any questions for anybody. I'm usually available 24/7.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast at such short
Thanks
notice. Excellent. Okay, Joel, over to you, buddy.
If you enjoyed anything you saw today, you make sure to like the video on YouTube. Leave a comment about whatever you're thinking about, including giving Mark some nonsense for having the view on me solely for like the first half hour. Share it with your friends, because there's a lot of people who need to have their mind blown, just like we've done here today, and they just haven't subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed, you absolutely should do it, or you'll find Mark Mason standing over you in bed at night with a knife. So that's not actually going to happen, but I'm just saying.
Maybe a pint glass.
Oh yeah, that's a little bit more appropriate to your people's culture. And so like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you are like one of my good friends who, a Dash community person who listens to this stuff while he's at the gym, and he doesn't want to be distracted on the treadmill, like looking at Mark, and he falls. There's an audio only version that Mark puts out tomorrow, Saturday, on dashnews.org. There's a post that has all the audio only links. So iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, whatever else, it's all there. You can get there and audio it only. And is it that time? It's that time. It's a time for the party after the party. If this was a party, there's an after party. The after party happens. It's organized in the Dash Talk Discord. StayDashy.com. How will you ever remember that URL? StayDashy.com. He's going to put it in the live chat anyway. Oh, wait, guess what? He did. You go there, Dash Talk Discord, start asking around, hey, where's the after party at? If you're cool, which if you ask those questions, you probably will be, you'll be inducted into the secret society of after partying, where a whole bunch of people do just about this, except it's not 3 of us. It's like, 10, 18, whatever, and just having fun all night long until the sun starts coming up behind Mark. And there you go.
Excellent. Thank you, Joel. Fantastic job. Right, so Jacob, if people have enjoyed this, what should they do?
They should go like and subscribe and follow us all. And I'd like to see you in the after party too. Let's get some questions going.
Yes.
Excellent.
And don't forget to smash for Dash.
Excellent. Smash, like, kick, punch that like
Is that
button.
what you're looking for? Like kick the door down for Dash?
Smash for Dash. Hit
Hulk
that like
smash
button.
for Dash.
Excellent. Fantastic. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. This was episode 104 of the Dash Podcast. Have a fantastic weekend wherever you are in the world. Stay positive. Stay humble. But most importantly, stay dashy.
Bye, everyone.